All right, what's up, everybody? I am sitting down with America's #1 loan officer, Shant Banosian. What's up, my brother?
What's up, man? Always great to be here and hang with you, and looking forward to this topic today.
Yeah, no, I am too. I remember at dinner when you and I spoke at Housing Wire in Austin earlier. You told me about this book right here.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And I think I bought it, and I kind of cracked it. Yeah. And then I would say a number of people, including Carrie Scholl, who I interviewed last week, have just recommended that book. And I think it's awesome for this market. Like every realtor and every buyer's agent should be reading that. What do you think?
Talk about timely. To me, that book is actually more relevant today than it was when you and I were talking about it back then.
Yeah.
And it's actually been something that I've implemented into my business. When I was at, actually, I mentioned it when I was at Housing Wire because you gave me a shout out about some of the stuff I talked about. But that was actually part of my talking point in terms of just being differentiated versus being commoditized. And I think for a lot of the reasons, our business, specifically on the loan side, we've been trying to get commoditized by our clients and partners for years, right? First thing somebody always says to me is, how are you doing? What's your rate? Right? Just making it about price. And then same thing with in the real estate world right now. It's the most people will be commoditized, but the best ones will be differentiated. And those are the ones that are going to thrive in this market and utilize this change to really kind of separate themselves from everybody else.
Yeah. Another book, Sean, thank you for. And that was my book of the year was The Gap in the Gain.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was a great book last year.
Yeah.
And I would say, here we are. It's however valuable it was then, probably 3 times more valuable now. I mean, you agree with that?
Yeah. I mean, it's whenever you have like these big events like this, like, and I would qualify this settlement, as an event, right? That like it's always really important to just get your mindset right, get your perspective right. And so, yeah, I think if I was a realtor, or anybody in business, but like specifically realtor right now, like those two books would be in my top five of things I should read over the course of the next 3 months.
Yeah, agreed. Well, before I start just asking you specific questions around how you're navigating this, this challenge and this opportunity, how are you doing? How is production? How is the Banosian team doing?
I got to be honest with you. I'm really happy with the way things have come out of the gate this year. I'm really happy with, and I'm confident that the way we kind of have been executing our plan, really starting from 2022 to 20 into 2023 and into this year is like it's totally working. So we're doing great. We're way ahead of where we were last year at this time from a production standpoint. And I know we've gained market share. And I know we've done a really great job of really differentiating ourselves in this market and like getting that communicated across to our partners and to our clients. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited. Like if I look back, if I was to do one of the exercises in the gap and the gain and look at all the things that measure what we've actually accomplished over the course of a year, right? It's really, and we do all the time, it's really, really impressive in terms of like how we've just kind of really tightened things up. And on top of that, not allowing myself to fall in the gap because like, the gap part of my brain wants to tell me, oh, you're not doing this, you're not doing that, you're not, it's not enough. But, we've really kind of done a great job to stay out front. We kicked off the year with a massive event where we had over 1,200 real estate partners come and attend. Which was awesome. It was like the coolest thing I've ever done in my life professionally. And we're just out in front of our partners every single day, literally with either individuals or groups, literally just communicating what's going on in the marketplace. And it's working. And we've never been more efficient in terms of like how we execute our loans and then the advice that we're giving and how we're educating, which I know is something that's near and dear to you in terms of like, why you even started, MortgageCoach for that matter. And even, what you're doing now with First Home IQ, but like, we're literally like, we're just educating our clients, I believe that, I've said this to you before, but maybe not here, like education, I think attracts, it attracts the right kind of partners and it attracts the right kind of clients. So we just always kind of educate, educate, educate. Like I'm always kind of thinking that because I know it's going to attract, makes the phone ring, makes leads come in, and it attracts the right kind of partners. And then I believe that information motivates. And I think more than ever, we are really trying to just inform our clients and our partners because we want to motivate them into decision, because too many people right now are in indecision. They freeze when rates go up or inventory goes down or home prices go up. They just freeze and do nothing. And we really need to coach our clients up more than ever in order to have them be comfortable entering the housing market, be comfortable and confident when things are tight. Most of my business, I'm licensed in all 50 states and I do business everywhere. But most of my business is primarily in Massachusetts, where I'm from. Massachusetts, according to Altos Research, single family home market is now the #1 hottest real estate market in the entire United States, surpassed San Fran and so like it's multiple offers, it's fast moving, it's quick closes, it's a ton of competition, it's fierce, right? And so like we have to have our clients like really, really buttoned up, and we have to have really great communication with our partners, which are our realtors, like, because you have to win together, right? Like, and so like our clients, we have to be able to execute, but we also have to give them the information so that they can kind of act and not freeze in a really kind of, and make quick decisions and not be stressed out and frozen. They have to be motivated.
So I wrote down education attracts, information motivates, and we need to coach our clients up now more than ever. So everyone in this community, and we're getting more and more realtors to watch this channel. In fact, I interviewed Jason Mitchell last week. I didn't need very little promotion, and it's got like 24,000 views. So we're getting a lot of agents really tuning into this. And I think it's safe to say that if you're a loan officer and you're not a coach, I'm going to use the word mortgage coach because I'm Mr. Mortgage Coach.
Yeah.
Like you're at a real disadvantage as a mortgage professional. It's going to be more important than ever that the mortgage professional does more than a pre-qual. They need to, provide the information that motivates the consumer, and they need to coach the clients. So what are some of the things you're doing right now? Like, I know you're default aggressive, like you're getting out there, but like walk me through your day, your week. What are you doing right now to get out there and be default aggressive in your marketplace?
Yeah, I mean, virtually every single day, I'm with, I'm either, I call them like, we have our high value partners that are the people that are like super loyal to us, that are working with us, that trust us, like us, and, help, help us, right? Like our support system. So I try to get together with somebody one-on-one every single day. I just had a lunch that I just came back from today. I'm I'm on the phone. I try to make 3 to 5 phone calls every single day to touch base with like those same type of partners, more just like check-ins, not like an official meeting, but like just like what's going on, what are you seeing, all that kind of stuff. 4 days a week, I'm presenting to a group full of real estate agents. We call them our market updates, but I have these presentations in terms of like what's going on in the market, what's the data saying, what are clients saying, and then here are the tools that we can help people win, and here's our tools that are helping people win. So it's like a 45-minute presentation in which I just coach people up in terms of market. My goal with that, with my client partners, is to have them go out and communicate that stuff back to their back to their clients, and utilize our material to go out and market, to put in their presentations, all that kind of stuff. Like really just kind of like having them leave that place and be like, wow, I know a lot more about the market than I did before. And I have all these tools now that can help me win the market. For example, the next 2 nights, on top of all that stuff, I'm doing seminars with my client partners. One's like an investor seminar, one's like a first-time homebuyer seminar. Like, I'm doing all the stuff that like we should all be doing, but I'm really kind of hand-to-hand combat. Like I'm with our partners all day, every single day, either on the phone, in person, over webinars, really just kind of like educating and informing.
Love that. So,
And that hasn't slowed down at all. Like that's like every day, every week, all year round. Like that's not like just doing that right now. Like I've been doing that for 2 years.
Yeah, no, I know. I remember when I interviewed you in May of last year, and I said, how you doing? What are you doing? And you were like, I have had more in person, face to face, whether it's, mastermind lunches, whether
Yep.
it's meeting with people, more realtors, and it was May, than I have in any year in my entire career. And it sounds like you have just accelerated. Wasn't like you just worked hard until May.
No.
What is your goal this year? Like, what kind of numbers are you aiming for this
Yeah.
year?
I want to get back over 1 billion, that's kind of like our target. I think that's pretty realistic. We ended up doing just about 600 million last year, almost entirely purchase, which, I was really proud of. We had a great year. It was a challenging market. We do a lot of, we work with a lot. We really transitioned. We reshaped our business in a lot of ways last year because, last year at the beginning of the year, the one thing that we didn't forecast is like, all those bank failures that happened at the beginning of the year, right? And like that really impacted the secondary market in the jumbo space, and that was a big portion of our business where like, we had to kind of go back in and figure out like, hey, how do we go out and win when like historically, like 40% of my business or 35% of my business was like jumbo. And that market really kind of dried up for a little bit. So like we really kind of focused, doubled down. You always kind of look at like where your product's at, right? And so where I determined last year, we're like our product set was the strongest on the first time home buyer, like Fannie, Freddie, FHA, VA. And like, so we went out and, found the right partners that were kind of doing that kind of business. And then, it's funny enough, like, so we did, and we did great. And now all of a sudden, like jumbo's back. Right. And so now we're going out and screaming like, hey, we've got the best jumbo product on the street. Right. So like, so it's, you just kind of do what you can, you're always like evolving and utilizing kind of what the market gives you and figure out what you can go capture. So, we're doing it, man. Like it's fun. I got to be honest, like, this whole if I was to reflect on it, this whole market shift and change, like from 2022 on, as much as it's been challenging and hard, it's like I'm really digging it. Like I like the fact it's it's hard for everyone. So like for me, it's like I can use it as an opportunity to go out and kind of grab market share and really separate myself, and really it forces us to communicate our value proposition, which I'm super confident about. And it forces us to get better every single day, which I enjoy doing. And I also know that like, there's some people, obviously we know how, there's not as many loan officers in the business as there was a couple of years ago, but it also means the ones I'm competing with on a daily basis are actually better. Right. So like, it's like the strong have survived. And so like, I've got to be better. Right. And so, I like it. For me, it's been like reinvigorating. It's got me focused. It's got me like tunnel vision, and I'm having fun with it. And obviously, I know that like the way I'm looking at it is like when this thing turns, whenever it is, like I know it's going to be friggin' amazing because like there's a bunch of people that are 20 years ahead of me in the business that are like calling it a day, and there's a bunch of people that are like not getting into the business because rates are higher, whatever you want to call it. Not a lot of mortgage companies out there are training new loan officers, right? So like for me, the people that are like good, if you survive this and do a great job, like we've got an amazing runway in front of us for a very, very long time. So I'm excited about that.
So let's talk specifically with this NAR reform and
Yeah.
how you're showing up with your agents. Because I've interviewed now a number of agents, and I'm finding a pretty varied mindset. I'm finding some people just pissed, and some people scared. I'm finding people very optimistic and excited. So I'm talking to people at all different kind of specters of the emotional roller coaster. By the way, are you seeing the same thing as
Yeah.
you go out there and talk to agents?
Yeah. I mean, there's some leaders in the space that are kind of getting out in front of it and like being really loud, which is awesome to see, and understand that there's opportunity here. There's a lot of people that are like totally confused and don't know what to do. There's some people that aren't paying attention at all. There's some people that are fearful. I look back at it as like, um, you know, I think a lot of things are going to change, and I also think a lot of things aren't going to change, right? And so, like, if that makes sense, like, if I look back at it, if I go back to when I first got started, right? obviously, I always say I got started in 2008, and I did. That's when things were really hard. But then we went through LO Comp, we went through TRID, all that kind of stuff. And, those two things happening were probably just as important for me as 2008 was, because like I really got cooking in 2012. And you know what? A lot of people were left. A lot of my competition was talking about how the good things used to be in the before 2008, how they got paid better before 2000 LO Comp, how all the stuff with TRID was unnecessary, and like how like it used to be so much easier. And all they did is focus on all that kind of stuff. And all I focused about was like what I had to do today and how I had to learn this stuff and win. And so I feel like the real estate agents that like go out and like really understand from a compliance and legal side, like really run towards this stuff and get it, and like run out in front of their competition, are going to do awesome. I also think that, the people that like are really great communicators, that have great loyal clients, that do a really good job communicating their value proposition, are going to win. Some of the things that I think they need to change, it's funny, like, historically, I would say my observation is that a lot of real estate agents, if they focus, like they kind of come into the business. Obviously, everybody wants sellers, but a lot of times they work out. They start as like buyers agents or rental agents or whatever, and then they kind of graduate up to doing like listing presentations and go into listings and take on listings, because that's kind of like perceived to be like where the top producers are, right? I think if real estate agents start treating buyer presentations as they treat listing presentations already today, it's going to change everything. If all the focus, like if you go in and start nailing buyer presentations and put all the effort that goes into that differently than you do previously, you're going to win, right? If you have your scripts down on the buy side, if you have your presentation, your marketing materials, your communication, your processes, your systems, all that stuff, if it's just as important to you on the buy side as if, whereas today it's mostly important on the listing side, you're going to really kind of do great. I think for some people, it's going to be the best thing that ever happened to them.
I feel like the mortgage coach, the loan officer that's delivering advice with price, the loan officer that's doing a rent versus own for the first time home buyer, and really providing this visual, obvious value. When they do a pre-qual, they're showing, hey, column A is what you wanted to qualify, column B is what you could qualify. Column C is whatever the problem you're solving. Like when rates start coming down, appraisal gap is going to be a problem. So when you're really delivering more than just, hey, here's rates, but like, hey, here's value to the consumer, I think the mortgage coach is going to be in a really good position to be more valuable to a buyer's agent who's trying to make a case for all the value. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh yeah. I mean, it's like, it's one of the parts of the value proposition that you bring to the table is like a superstar loan officer, right? Like that's got to be a part of it, right? Like so I think, the people like, and there's so much that we can add from a value standpoint today already. Like there's ways like the structuring of deals, right? As it comes to how to communicate, like there's like, if I'm a loan officer, like, which I am, right? Like, understanding the like ins and outs of what allowable seller concessions are today, right? Like how to communicate seller concessions amongst all the different types of loan products and down payments and, residency types and all that kind of stuff. Like, I think that starts with, that starts number one, where you're communicating that out to your agents immediately, not waiting till, the future, not waiting on Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac to come out and address this situation. Like, just deal with what you have today, right? Understand how you can structure deals and communicate how down payment can, changing down payment types can impact everything. Like knowing your products probably more important than ever, and really kind of giving, like I went out simply and met with a group of agents that we do a lot of work with and just kind of did a refreshers on, all the different ways in which you can structure loans right now and different down payment types, different seller concession options, credits, and like how to communicate that to buyers and how to structure deals accordingly today without having to wait for changes or without having to wait for FHFA or VA or anybody to weigh in on this stuff. And they appreciated it. And it's like, all right, gives them hope. And I think right now, more than anything, I'm a big Ryan Holiday fan, as I know you are, right? And
Absolutely.
in one of his books, Courage is Calling, he says, you know, it was like right at the very beginning, he says, be a hope dealer and be a fear slayer, right? And I think being a hope dealer right now is really, really super important, right? Like you get on the phone with a realtor partner, the last thing they want to have you do is commiserate with them and agree with them as how bad their life sucks right now, right? And how challenging it is, right? You want to just kind of go in there and like, you know, be a leader, right? Like coach them through, you know, what can be done today to help them do more business, what can be done today to help them navigate all these different you know, challenges they're facing. And there's like it's all about just being a technician on the loan side right now with this kind of stuff.
Yeah. So, Sean, I want to be respectful of the time that you committed to be in here. You know, the times that I've interviewed you, I've kind of netted out your success with a few words. Like you are a local community leader, and that's kind of got you where you're at. Now you are approved in 50 states now, and you've become such a great community leader that you're like, okay, I built teams so I could support through my community the entire country. But at the end of the day, like that's where it started with you, is just building like, you know, realtors in your marketplace know you, business owners in your marketplace know you, the most influential people in the market that you live, they know you and they look at you as a source of truth and expertise. So I do think that's a message for real estate agents. That's a message for mortgage professionals. Hey, we need to be advisors / mortgage coaches. But at the end of the day, if you're a local community leader and you're looked upon that way, you're going to kill it. You're going to gain market share. Like, yes, some things are going to change. And yes, some of that change will be hard, but you're going to win. You agree with that thesis?
100%. Like, you know, there's always going to be unexpected events that occur in business, right? And it's how you handle those situations. And those are generally speaking, like the things that always create like momentum for certain people and also eliminate certain people. So you just got to ultimately decide like which side of that equation you want to be on, right? Do you want to be the person that kind of dives in, learns the stuffs, figure out how to implement it right away? Because we're all playing on a level playing field, right? Like it changed for everybody, right? Like it's not like some people have to do it and some people don't. Like we're all playing in the same game, right? And it's like however fast you adapt and adopt, you know, your new systems and processes and rule changes and understand them, and then be able to, you know, simply communicate them out to everybody, you're gonna win. So like, it's not like you're the only one dealing with this. I think sometimes we think we are, right? But like the whole industry is going through it, and you know, like I said, all I can rely on is like my past experiences, whether it's comparing it to 2008 or when we went through LO Comp and TRID. And at the time, I didn't realize that those were things that were helping me separate. But I was just like, I was learning. I knew what I had to be doing. I was making changes based on it. And I didn't spend a lot of time worrying about the things I lost. And I don't today. Like I really never do. I just kind of, like last year I said, I lost jumbo for a little bit, you know, and as like the industry did. So I focused on first time home buyers. It was fun. It was great. It was awesome. It took me about like 24 hours to figure out we needed to make a quick change. And this year, guess what? We're going out and we're still working with all the first time home buyers, but we're screaming that we're kicking ass in jumbo again, right? And like that's just a quick example. And then we're gonna win. This whole NAR thing is gonna be something that like we go out and partner with our agents and show up for them when they really need us the most. And we're gonna help them kind of be advisors. We're gonna be advisors to them like we always have been, and we'll do better because of that, and they'll appreciate it, and they always repay us in the form of like when we show up for them, they show up for us.
Love it, Sean. Well, let's go ahead and wrap this up. I definitely want to schedule a call with you whenever you're willing on how to win with first-time homebuyers, because
Yeah.
I do believe, regardless of whether you're, you know, focusing on the high end or whether you have jumbo product or you're a realtor, I think everybody needs a first-time homebuyer strategy going forward. I mean, you look at the data and you look at the demographics, it's a massive opportunity. And then I also think if you can win with first-time homebuyers, you can win with anybody, because there's just a lot of nuances that you need. So let's do that. Brother, I appreciate you. Thank you for this. Anyone
man.
listening to this, if you have not already subscribed to our YouTube channel, do that now. If you are not in the Trust Engine Facebook group, get in that Facebook group. This is streamed live. We're putting more value in there than ever. If you're not already a mortgage coach or you are not having your database monitored by Trust Engine, make sure you go check it out on the website. All right, Shant. Appreciate you, brother.
Thanks, man.